All right, guys, got it on YouTube. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and then I can go over them. So if you guys have any questions, regarding trading, the K2 strategies, or pretty much any pair that you want me to look over, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and then we can start going over the questions one by one. It's been a pretty slow trading day. I'm sure you guys are aware if you guys were following, the chat and the charts for the entire day. The market's been pretty flat for the most part. Let's see, we still have USD CHF open. We have this odd CHF. I think it's hit TP1 for, we have two active positions. It's hit TP1 once, and then we still have another one that's still running. It's literally just been consolidating, even on the 4-hour chart. You can see here it's only moved like 20-30 pips in 2 days, which is, it's not very much. We also have Euro GBP still open. We hit TP1 for about 20 pips. It's still on its way to full TP. So if you guys still have that open, it's still looking good. And I think that's about it. We just have those 3 positions right now. I'm going to start looking for entries around 6 p.m. So in about less than an hour from now. But yeah, I think that's about it for now. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions so I can just, go over exactly what you guys are looking for. So let's see. Keontez is asking, what caused that big drop for US 30? Let me check real quick. I know that there was a lot of COVID news that came out. Let me just open another window. COVID news that came out this morning. I don't know if that was that affected it completely. Let's look on CNBC as well. Hold this. Let's see. So we had news this morning. I mean, this is the most important thing that I saw, the entire morning. It was like coronavirus updates, and pretty much like when this happened, there was another news event that happened too. Let me go to the news that I shared earlier. Yeah, it was unusual because the unemployment claims were actually in favor. So I wasn't expecting it to drop like that, but there was another news event that happened. Let me see if I can find it. I put it in the chat. Let's see if it's in the chat. So if I go here, is Jay in here? Yeah, Jay was telling me maybe that's his wife. Let's see, I'm gonna share the link on here earlier this morning. Let's see, okay, 6 a.m. I mean, I don't know if this affected it. I don't think it really affected it that much, but let's see if there's anything else here. I know I posted the article earlier. Yeah, so this, that's pretty much part of the other news. So the news right here was the coronavirus news. It was basically, who was it? Dr. Fauci was saying that, new shutdowns may be necessary. I think that caused a lot of the drops. But there was a ton of COVID news that was just released today. So I think this had a huge impact on US 30 dropping, mostly because there wasn't really anything else that that caused it to drop. All of us were kind of confused why it was dropping. There wasn't really anything too crazy causing it to drop, but I mean, that was pretty much it. We had news this morning for the U.S. unemployment claims, but obviously since, the U.S. has been reopening, unemployment has gone better actually. So we were expecting it to go up, but for whatever reason, it ended up dropping like crazy. Let's see. Yeah, so like right here, it was right when market opened. So market opened right here at 6:30. This is when the New York Stock Exchange opened. And, from the time that it opened, it was way up here. And it literally dropped within 1 hour or 1.5 hours. It dropped about 6,000 pips, and that's very unusual. Like for this to happen, something must happen in the news. There was literally, unemployment claims were actually good. So it was really unusual. All I can think of was the coronavirus news. That's, I mean, it's been updating literally all day today. So there's they were saying that coronavirus could be airborne. So obviously that's going to affect. And then they just dropped a bunch of different news for coronavirus, throughout the day. So that's my only explanation for why it dropped. I don't know any other reason why. But I don't know. Does anyone else here have any information on it? Because this is the only thing that I can think of, just coronavirus, obviously. But like I mentioned, that drop was huge, 6,000 points in an hour or 2 hours, I guess. That's pretty huge. But then from there, that's when we got our first entry right here. So this is where the K2 entry came from. I'm not sure if you guys, well, I know most of you guys are familiar with it, but if you guys aren't familiar with the K2 strategy, we do have a lot of new people here, so I'm just going to type it up real quick. So this is the K2 daily US 30 strategy, and it's real simple. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to look for entries after the New York Stock Exchange open, which is going to be 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And next, you're just going to take first valid K2 signal. So that's pretty much what we did right here. You know, that's the strategy. It's real simple. We pretty much just waited for the first K2 signal to appear, which was this one right here, after the open. We don't take the candle that's on the open, because the first candle is usually a bit manipulated, because that's when the market just opens and when all the orders just flood in. So that's why we don't take the first, you know, the actual opening candle, but then we go for the next one. So right here was the next one, and that's why I called this trade earlier. I didn't make it an official call because this drop it's just insane. Like, you know, it's hard for you to predict if it was going to correct or if it was going to continue dropping, especially because the trend was so strong down from that big drop, and that's why I didn't make it an official call. But I can show you yesterday. So for the new people here, let me just show you the one from yesterday, which we took. So it was on the 8th. So pretty much we look for entries after the New York Stock Exchange, which opens at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time, which would be right over, let me just take this off. I'll put a vertical line so you guys see where it's at. 6:30, which is right here. Okay, so if I rewind this to that candle, that's where the first requirement's met, where we look for entries after the New York Stock Exchange is open. So after this candle, we look for an entry. The next requirement is just to take the first valid K2 signal. Third requirement is to you know, enter on open of following candle. So this is a little messy. If you guys watch the video how I actually explain it, it's real simple, but I'm just gonna run through it real quick. All right, so a valid K2 signal is if you get a sell signal, which is a red signal like this, vertical line, and then it has to have a red bearish candle. If it's red and red, then that makes it valid. Like right here, we have green and green, that makes it valid. See, there's an example of an invalid candle, so I can just show you guys what it looks like. Let's see, so this would be invalid right here. This is a sell signal, a red sell signal, but it's a green bullish candle inside. So that'd be an invalid sell signal. Right here would be a invalid, I mean, this would be, yeah, these would both be invalid sell signals because they're both sell signals, but they have an opposite candle inside. So that'd be invalid. This would be valid because it's green and green. This would be valid because it's red and red. So let me just go back to the entry right here. And let me see, what did we call for? Dominic's asking, is the same strategy for the Asia session daily call? Yeah, it's the same strategy. It's just taken at a different time. We don't take it right on open because when Asia opens, generally doesn't move as fast. The volatility is just not there as it is for the New York session. So we wait for a specific time period before we take it, which wouldn't be at the open, which the open would be 4 o'clock. So it's already 5 o'clock. We would have missed it by now. But we're waiting for a specific time period that I back tested to get, you know, prime entry. So right here, we went for about 1,500 pips. This is the same setup right here. So you can see this setup. I'll zoom out of it. So this is what the chart looks like there. And this is what the chart looked like here. It's the same exact entry. So we went for 1,500 pips. I'm just going to mark it on the chart. I'm going to copy this entry. Grayson, so the same strategy can be used for London. Yeah, is Marcus here? Marcus isn't here, but Marcus actually uses the same strategy for London. So he uses it on London Open. I don't use it because I'm asleep during that time. I live in the US, so that's around midnight for me. But Marcus, if you're in the premium, you would see that you can ask him because he's gotten funded through FTMO. So he's trading a funded account, and he does that, I'm assuming every night because he's located in Europe. Aaron, let me move you to panelists. All right, Aaron's here. So, okay, we're gonna go over this entry right here, the daily US30 entry for yesterday. So if we place that right there, the entry point is right here, and the stop loss was 1500. So this was the setup for yesterday, the daily entry, and then if I let this run, there you go. We hit profit target really quick. So we hit profit target in about, it was like 30 minutes, maybe less, for 1500 pips. So if you guys were following, you know, this was the signal that was sent yesterday in the premium. You know, we sent that at what, 7:30. We hit TP1 at 8:05. So in about less than 30 minutes, we hit TP1, and then about 10 minutes later at 8:20, we hit full TP. And you know, if you were taking this with a 0.01, you'd make 150. If you were taking this with a 0.10, you'd make 1500. If you're taking this with a standard lot, you make 15,000. And that's just a simple breakdown of how the strategy works. Let's see. So yeah, that's an explanation of how the strategy works. I can go, if we have time later, I'm just gonna go through all the Q&A questions. If one of you guys want me to go over, you know, the specific strategy for London or whatever session you guys want me to look at, just put it in the Q&A because I'm going down the Q&A. So if your question is there, I'll get to your question and then I can answer it and go over it, you know, however you guys want me to look over it. I see some questions here in the chat, but I'm going to go through the Q&A first because everyone's, I'm going to get through everyone's question in order. So let me just, I do see some questions here. So if you guys put the question in the chat but didn't put in the Q&A, just go ahead and put in the Q&A and I'll go down the Q&As and I'll get to yours eventually. Let's see what else. If it's a simple question that I can just answer really quick, I'll answer in the chat. But if it's something that I need to chart on the screen, then I'm just gonna skip over it and you guys can just put in the Q&A so I can get to that eventually. So let me just scan through this real quick. Awab's asking, and it's going to give us a bullish flag, or am I wrong? Awab, I don't really trade patterns, so I can't really answer that question. I mean, we're in a buy, so I'm anticipating it to go up, but I don't trade patterns, so I'm not even sure how to analyze that. I'm trying to figure out if there's a. So this is the way that I'm analyzing it. I'm not analyzing it through patterns, but I'll show you how I'm looking at it. Right here was the entry, but this is just me analyzing it with how price is right now. So generally, if you guys understand how the K2 pivots indicator work and the K2 momentum indicator, you know, they both move, they're both used in conjunction with each other. So in order to determine the trend, you want to see where price is with regard to the pivots. So if price is below the pivots, like it is right here, and the pivots are angling in the same direction and they're spread out, this is going to indicate a strong trend downwards. If price is above the pivots and it's doing the same exact thing in this direction, you can see that it indicates a strong trend upwards. So this is an uptrend, this is a downtrend. You can see right here, price is crossing the pivots. So and we do have a buy momentum signal right here. So we do see some strength coming from the bottom, pushing upwards. And this is why I anticipate it to shoot up even further. Because as you can see right here, if these cross above here and then it'll reject. So this is what I'm anticipating, okay guys? I see it coming up. If it does come up this far, coming down, testing the pivots as they move this way and shooting on further up. This is pretty much what I'm looking at in my perspective. Let me see. Aaron, are you here? I could hear your computer.
I'm here, bro.
Yo, Aaron, do you know how to analyze it as a bullish flag?
Shit, honestly, nope. I'm just like, you know, we don't look for patterns like that, bro.
Yeah, sorry, Bob. I want to answer your question, but I don't want to sound like an idiot and sound like and act like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. You know, I'm just
try connect the highs and lows and then wait for a breakout.
Highs and lows, like draw a trend line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. then it could form like a bullish triangle or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about the trend line both directions?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna draw these trend lines here.
Good.
And then we got this right here. Yeah, whatever you say, Aaron. I don't know what Aaron's talking about, but yeah, I did.
That looks pretty cool, bro. Hey, y'all, he's new. He's new.
Mm-hmm.
The hell?
All right, so yeah, well, I agree with you because you're anticipating a bullish move, which is exactly what I'm anticipating too. And if you look at the trend meter down here, the trend meter is neutral, but you can see that the previous trend was green right here. If you guys aren't familiar with the trend meter, what the trend meter does is it gives you the overall trend. So if you're looking at this like on a higher time frame, like the 4 hour, you can see right here when the trend meter is green, this means that price is trending upwards. If it's red, it means price is trending downwards. So as you can see right here, price is clearly trending up on the pivots. It's also trending up on the trend meter. But the cool thing about the trend meter is that you can see the overall trend on 4 different time frames. So I have it set to the 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour. And when price is trending up on all those 4 time frames, it'll turn either green or red. If it's blue, this just means that price is in consolidation. And you can see right here that it lines up perfectly because right here, you can see it's all green. Price is trending up pretty strong. Right here, it's blue and price is going sideways. It's green going up, red going down, blue sideways. So if we look at this on the 10-minute, you can see it's blue right here. So it's just going sideways, but the previous trend right here was green. So odds are if it keeps pushing up, it's just going to turn green again. So, if you put all these together, odds are it's probably going to keep going upwards, especially if it breaks above the K2 pivots. But yeah, I hope it goes up because we still have this position active. We did hit TP1 right here for about 1,000 pips, I believe, but we still have halfway to go. So I think most people got out, but if you're still in it, it looks perfectly fine to me because it looks like, let me just get this right here. So it looks like it came up. So it came up from right here, rejected off the K2 pivot, came back down, rejected off this pivot, and it's ready to shoot on upwards. So it should be good. Let me keep going down the questions. Let me just see if there's any quick questions I can answer real quick. James asking, could this strategy apply to the DAX? Yeah, I think it could. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are in the premium, I think you are, James. So since you're in the premium, you should message Marcus. I don't know if Marcus is in here because Marcus actually uses it, I think, every night. And he's trading the FTMO funded account. So he's pretty serious about his trades. He's not taking random trades. So he can probably give you a better insight as to how accurate it is during a London session. One question from Keontes asking, how much do I need my account to drop a 0.10 for US 30? So generally for US 30, depending on your broker, I'm assuming you're trading on Hugo's Way, which is what majority of people are trading on. Basically, you need about 1,000 per 0.01. So if you want to trade a 0.10, you're gonna need at least 10,000 in your account, to cover the margin. Because the thing is, you don't want your margin to get eaten up, and then you get margin called out if you get caught in some sort of pullback like right here. Let's see. CJ's asking US 30 work on GER 30. Yeah, I would just reach out to Marcus. I don't think Marcus is awake right now. I think he's located in Europe, so he's probably asleep at this point. Yeah, I haven't seen him in the chat. I just saw him earlier. He woke up when I called the signal. Let's see what else we got here. All right, so that's it with the chat. I'm gonna go back to the Q&As now, guys. So let me see. One person's asking for GA, anonymous attendee. So let's check out GA real quick. GA right here. All right. So looking at GA on the 4-hour time frame, which is my favorite time frame. Yeah. Also, if you guys have access to the K² SR indicator, that's where I got these zones from. So pretty much how I draw my zones here is I'll look for areas where price is rejected from. So if you guys are familiar with the K² SR indicator, let me just take off the pivots real quick. I'll just show you guys how it works if you guys aren't familiar with it. So I'm just gonna, I'll just rewind the chart over here. And basically what the K²SR indicator does is it goes back in data. You can put how many, like how far you want it to go back. Right here, I have it go back 100 candles. So that's about 100 candles back. And what it does is it automatically plots the areas where price rejects from. So you know exactly where price is going to, bounce off. So as you can see right here, price came up, rejected off this area, came down, rejected off this area, came up, rejected off this area again. And then it pretty much tells you exactly where price is going to reject from. So if you have this is kind of like a little cheat code for you, because obviously if you're trading in a certain direction, you don't want to trade where these zones are because price is likely to reject off it. So if you're taking a sell right here, obviously you want to get out before you get to the zone. If you're taking a buy, you want to get out before it gets close here because you don't want to get caught in any retracement. And then if you tie that with the K²SR indicator, see the K2 momentum indicator, this will tell you the direction of momentum. So this works hand in hand because if you know the direction of price by looking at momentum, so you can see right here, price broke this zone right here. It came down, but you wouldn't sell right here because you saw this zone. Obviously, you would wait for it to reject. So it rejected right here, and then it came down, came up, came down, and then you can see exactly where price rejects from. You can see price came down, rejected off this old zone right here that was created way down here. And the way that I draw my zones is I'll get the rectangle box and I'll draw it right over these SR zones. So I know exactly where price is rejecting from. So like right here, I'll draw that. And then what happens is I'll take off the K²SR and look at that. You have that perfect like setup right there because you can see exactly where price is bouncing off. So obviously you take no sells right here, take no buys up here because you see price just bounces around. But once price breaks above it, like it did right here, you take a buy and then ride this whole thing up for like 200, 300 pips. Or right here, you could take the sell right here. The next zone is way down here. So you could take this sell off this candle, write it down for about 250 pips. Easy as that. And then let me just delete these. I'll just show you how it automatically plots. All right, so let me zoom out. You can see right there that the zone's already plotted. As price moves, it's going to automatically create new zones. You can see right here, price came up, new zone, price came down. You can see it rejects right off these zones. So you know exactly when and where price is going to be rejecting. So as you can see right there, you could literally ride these trades to each zone. And this is a strategy that I explained in the course. This is the K²SR zone trading strategy. And this is pretty much what's been producing all of our winning signals, for the past, 3-6 months. And you can see right there, it just pretty much automatically plots. But yeah, okay, since you guys understand what that is, I'm gonna go back to where current price is over here. So that's pretty much why I have these lined up right here, because I see the zones, and that's why I have the boxes plotted right here, because you can see exactly where price rejects from. See, I can draw boxes up here too, because I can see that price is rejecting from here. So this gives you like a little, an insight as to where not to trade. Gives you that extra confirmation. So I'll just delete this. So there we go. We have this all set up here. So let me turn on the momentum indicator again. So back to the question, they wanted us to analyze GA. So we're on GA right now. What I see happening right here is if price breaks above this zone right here, like it did over here, see price came down, rejected, broke off the zone, and then it shot way up. Shot way up like that. And then it came back down, tested the zone again. And then once it broke above this zone again right here, it shot way over here. So see how many pips that is? If you caught that trade from right there, you have minimal drawdown, like 30 pip drawdown, but you could have made like 300 pips. That's what I see happening right here. You can see that price is struggling to get above this zone. You can see it's within the zone. It's tested it so many times right here. It's tested it all these areas right here, came down, came up, failed to pass, came up, came down, came up, failed to make it up there, came down, came up, and now it's made it pretty far where it's close to breaking the zone. So the thing is, once price breaks this zone right here, I see this happening all over again. So I wouldn't trade it while it's within the zone. I would wait for it to break above, because if it breaks above the zone, I see it shooting up here to the next zone. If it breaks below the zone, like it did right here, you can see this price broke the zone right here, and then after it broke it, it shot straight down. So if it breaks below this zone right here, then I anticipate it to shoot back down over here. Because as you can see, price moves in zones. You know, it's real simple if you have the indicators, because the indicators will show you exactly where price is rejecting from. So right now, let's see, I'm gonna, on top of this, you can add the other K2 indicators. So the new K2 indicator that I created was the K2 pivots indicator. And like I mentioned earlier, when price is below the pivots like it is right here, and it's angling down and spread out, price is in a really strong downtrend. You can see right here, price came down. And if you if you tie these together, you tie the K2SR plus the K2 pivots, and you see this, you can see these rejections coming. And then as you can see, price came up here. You could have taken another sell. Like if you saw this, you would have taken another sell, because you could see that price was obviously going to keep coming down. And as you can see right here, price broke above the pivots, and it's moving up pretty nicely. So this is why I'm anticipating a buy to occur, because if price breaks above the zone and it's above the pivots, you know, there's so many confirmations here giving you an idea that price is going to continue upwards. So I'm gonna disregard the sell. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for price to close above this zone and then shoot on upwards. So that's where I see it right now. I would hang tight, you know, maybe wait for price to break above it, and then you can take an entry. So if you guys are in premium, if I do see this, I'm going to call this as a buy. If you guys aren't in premium, you guys can sign up, and you can take the trades that I call. These are the trades that I call every day. So you know, if you have the indicators, you can apply it yourself. If you just want to copy my trades, you can do that as well. But that's my insight on GA right now. So let's see what's next. Yeah, one more question from Miles. Miles wants to check out ODJPY. So let me pull up ODJPY. Hey, Aaron, can you remind me once it gets closer to 6? Probably like in 10 minutes, like 5:40?
No.
All right, cool. All right, so right here, mark this up real quick. All right, so right here, instead of drawing a zone, I just put a line, because you know, there's no zones that are really tight like how they are over here. So in that situation, if there's just one rejection point, I just put a line so I know exactly where price is likely to reject from. Because you can see right here, it's rejected off this point 1, 2, 3, 4, well, quadruple times. This would be the 5th time right here, and that's why I have that lined up. The next zone is down here. And generally, I like to space the zones out if they're more than 20 pips away. So what I do is I just measure it, because that gives you a good cushion. If you're scalping, you can get in and out of these trades within 20 pips. Obviously, if you're going for bigger moves, you want to give it more cushion for it to move around. So I have these lined up over here. I'm gonna turn off the K2SRs. And there it goes, gives us a better picture. So right here for ODJPY, it looks like it was a mess right here. It was pretty much just consolidating. It came up again right here, rejected off this resistance, and then it's pretty much back into consolidation. So until it breaks out of this zoned area right here, I would wait for it to, let me check the trend meter. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we have the trend meter as well. So you can literally tie all these indicators together to give you a super analysis, because it'll give you 4 or 5 different confirmations. You'll have confirmation for the direction of price with the momentum indicator, and then you'll have confirmation of the trend with the trend meter plus the K2 pivots, and then you also have confirmation with the K2SR to identify, you know, where price is to reject from. So right here, you know, it's literally in consolidation. It's just moving sideways. But if price closes below this zone right here, then I could anticipate it to come down further. One reason I think that may happen is because the K2 pivots are starting to angle downwards. So if it angles downwards and price comes below, it's going to reverse into a downtrend. Well, it's going to correct, it looks like. So right here, it was an uptrend, downtrend, consolidation, uptrend, and then reversing back down to a downtrend. So if price closes below this zone, then I'm anticipating a sell. If price breaks above and corrects right here, because the thing is, price can either go down from this area and confirm a reversal, or price can reject off this last pivot right here and correct back upwards, because it's currently in an uptrend right now, but it's trying to reverse. So if price breaks above this resistance right here, then I would anticipate a buy. But if price breaks below this zone right here, then I would anticipate a sell. That's pretty much all I see right now for ODJPY. Generally, if it's consolidating like it is right here and it's stuck within a zone, I usually just ignore it, because obviously you want to trade when you have an edge in the market. You don't want to just force a trade just because it's ODJPY, or if it's like, you know, your favorite pair to trade. You know, there's some times where you should just avoid the trade. If there's no edge in the market, then just don't trade it, and then wait for your edge to appear. And you know, when you're trading with K2, you're always going to find an edge for some sort of pair. As you can see right here, I have a ton of pairs that I watch. So I'm not just focusing on one pair. I know a lot of people like to trade the majors, or, you know, the more common pairs like ODJPY, AUD/USD, what else? Your USD, GU. But, you know, there's a ton of other pairs that you can trade when there's no trades available for, you know, those specific pairs that you guys like to trade. You know, especially down here, we have indices, we have oil, cryptos. There's a huge array of assets that you can trade at a time. But currently right now, I don't think ODJPY is really something I'd trade until price breaks above this resistance or below this zone right here. So let me see how many pips is it from. So it's got some ways to go. It's got about 30 pips before it breaks below the zone. And then it's got even farther to break above the resistance, 50 pips. So it's probably going to consolidate for a while until, you know, something happens in the news, or I don't know, something pushes price in a certain direction. So currently I would hold off on ODJPY until you get extra confirmation as to, you know, the direction of price. Let's see what else we got here. CT said check NZD CAD break above SR long, the SR for a long. I think I was looking at that too. Let's see if I have it marked on mine. Yeah, so I have it here. When I have these orange markers on the chart, this means that a trade's coming for these specific pairs. If it's red, this means that we're in for a sell. If it's green, we're in for a buy. So if you guys are wondering why I have these highlighters on my chart, you know, they're there for a specific reason. I'll just look at this real quick. Yeah, so CT's looking at this. Check NZD CAD. That's weird. I don't have it on mine, CT. You might have or you might be on a different time frame actually. I don't see the SR on mine. Oh, he has the original one. Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, if it breaks above, that'd be nice. So if it breaks above and it closes with a green bullish candle, then yeah, that'd be a nice buy. I'll show you guys this one too. So let me just go back to ODJPY. So before the K2SR V2, we had K2SR, just the normal one. The normal one just gives you the overall support and resistance on the chart for you. It's pretty much the same thing, but what it does is it just has one level instead of having, you know, multiple zones on the chart. So if I replay over here, you can see right here, this is the resistance, this is the support, and if we move it along, you can see that it automatically adjusts as price moves. So it does the same thing that the V2 does, except the V2 is just a little more accurate because it plots the further zones on the chart for you. But it does pretty much the same thing. This just gives you the overall support and resistance, which works very well as well. You can see right there, you know, it gives you perfect areas where price will like break and retest or something like that. But yeah, okay, let me close this. So yeah, CT, I'm gonna take a look at that as we get closer to the candle close. So in about like 20 minutes from now. And let me keep going down the questions. Yeah, Grace, I see your question with GU. I have about, let's see, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have about 11 questions until I get to yours, okay? So I'm not ignoring you. It's just, you know, we have a list of questions here. So once I get to yours, I'll get to it pretty quickly. Let me close this. All right, next question. Imad said you're the GOAT for this call. Oh, for the US 30. Francisco said your opinion on your GEJ. Hey Francisco, put that in the Q&A because I'm going down the Q&A list. So you know, if I don't see yours on here, it's not going to get. I'm not going to get to it. But if you just put it on the Q&A list, I'll get to it eventually. There's not too many questions here, so I should be able to catch it. Let's see. Awab said, "Oh, Ahmad said you're a goat for this call for this one." Yeah, this is actually a really nice call, Ahmad. Like I wasn't anticipating it to shoot up. That's why I sent it as a take at your own risk call. But you know, I should have just trusted myself because you know the K2 strategy usually pulls through. But it looks good, and it's pushing up pretty nicely. So hopefully it pushes up so you guys can get full TP on this, even though I'm not in the trade. But you know, I hope it hits for you guys because I know there's a lot of members that are still in this trade as well. Let's see. So Awab's asking, hey Shawn, wasn't US 30 a bearish flag throughout the day? Honestly, I'm not sure. I guess if it well, this drop right here was news. I don't know if it was news based or it was definitely manipulation because you know price doesn't move like 3,000 pips in 2 hours. Usually this happens if something in the news comes out, but there's nothing that we really saw. The only thing that I saw was the coronavirus news, which obviously could affect it, but I wasn't expecting it to affect it that much. You know, if like the US was closing again and we were going back into lockdown, then I would expect it to drop, but it was just normal coronavirus news. So personally, I don't know what caused this. The only thing I can point to is the COVID news. But yeah, if you're looking at a pattern, I guess this would be considered like a bearish flag. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't trade patterns, so I can't really say. But if we look at it like this, I'm assuming it'd be a bearish. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not gonna draw because I don't know what to draw. But yeah, it was very bearish throughout the day. You can see right here, market opened at 6:30, and then I mean, I guess it wasn't throughout the day. It was only the first 2-3 hours right here, and it started correcting. So personally, I'm not really sure because I wouldn't consider this a normal move. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna keep going down the questions. Emily's asking, when you look for the trend meter, you see it in a big time frame, or is it just a 10-minute time frame? Emily, so depending on what you're applying, you should look at the trend on whatever time frame you're trading on. But generally, you should also look at the overall time frame. I mean, the overall trend. That's why we have the trend meter down here, because the trend meter will show you what the trend is on 4 different time frames. So even though I'm trading on the 10-minute, I can still see the trend for intraday. These are like intraday settings right here because I can see what the trend is on the 30-minute chart, the 1-hour chart, the 2-hour chart, and the 4-hour chart. You know, if I'm scalping, I could change this to the you know, the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. If I'm trading long term, I could change it to the 4-hour, daily, weekly, and monthly, and that'll give me the overall trend. The reason why you want to know what the trend is overall is because you want to trade in the direction of trend. Because here, let me show you an example. Kafundo's asking, can I take a US 30 buy now? I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you can, but I'm not gonna. I wouldn't take it because we've already been to TP1 right here, so it's already like 1,000 pips in profit. A lot of people have already exited, but I wouldn't recommend getting into it now, especially because price is consolidating. You can see it's going sideways. If it was moving upwards, then yeah, but it's moving sideways right here, and it's only moving about like 300 pips. So if you're trading with an offshore broker, which I'm assuming because that's what most people trade on, your spread is for like 377. So in order for you to make any profit here, price is going to have to move 300 pips from where it currently is. So if you enter a buy right here, you're not going to make any profit until price gets way up here. So you're going to be screwed until price gets to this point. If price never gets to this point, you're at a loss. So that's why I wouldn't enter the trade at this time. But back to Emily's question. So yeah, Emily, I generally look for the overall trend because the thing is, you want to trade in the direction of trend. So I have it set to intraday settings. So let me just go to the 30-minute. This is going to be more aligned with what the overall trend is. So you can see right here, the trend is green, right? So even though there's a sell signal right here, I wouldn't take this sell signal because price is trending upwards. This would just be considered a retracement candle or a pullback because you can see right here price came down, but once you match the trend with a buy signal, then you can erode this up right here for like 1,500 pips. Another example right here. As you can see over here, we had a buy signal, and then price came up, retraced a little bit, and then it came up even further right here for like 4,000 pips. Cafado is asking, how do you get the indicators? So let me, let's check that real quick. So if you go to our website, which is k2trades.com, right here, you can sign up for your access to the indicators. We have a trial going on right now for new members. So if you've never signed up for a K2 before, or for the K2 strategy for that part, you can go to our website, k2trades.com, and then just scroll down to the bottom. And then you can pretty much go right here and just click the trial. It's 50 bucks. You get access to all the indicators, all the courses, all the previous webinars, and all the premium groups. If you want to sign up, this is what the normal price is. It's normally at $150 a month. But for the trial, you'll get the first month for 50 bucks. So, you'll literally make that in one trade. So, like almost guaranteed. Like if you look at our results, I think we have all of our results here too. So these are results from people in K2. They're not my results. They're results from everyone else. So you can see here, if you just look on here, everyone makes profits like pretty much from our trades. So literally you can make your money back with like a trade or two. So I think it's a good investment. It's really cheap. A lot of people are telling us that it's way too cheap. So we might get rid of the trial soon. Because obviously 50 bucks, like you spend 50 bucks on dinner. Yeah, Ahmad. So for 1 month, you'll get it for 50 bucks, and you can see everyone's profits here. Like people are making thousands of bucks. What's up, Aaron?
You said 50 on dinner.
Bro, yeah, 50 bucks on dinner, man. Well, where do you go, McDonald's?
There you go. Don't start.
Okay, right there. So right there, you get 5 bucks. You get a whole week of lunch.
Hey, for real.
You go to McDonald's. But if you want to go to a normal restaurant, for me and Aaron, because Aaron eats a lot, so Aaron's gonna get 50 bucks probably just for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, guys, it's only 50 bucks for the first month, and then if you like it, which I'm sure you will, you just continue your subscription, and then you'll have access to. Let me see if I can pull up the course right here. You'll have access to the K2 strategy. So let's show you guys what it looks like real quick. All right, so right here, this is the K2 course right here. Pretty much it has, all the basics, has your unique links to join the K2 groups, my watch list right here. And then this is where it gets to the good part. It shows you, a breakdown of all the indicators, and then, the intraday strategy, momentum strategy, scalping strategies, pretty much strategies for anyone, depending on how you want to trade. Our pivot strategy, all of our indicators right here, the daily US 30 strategy. This is everyone's favorite, including mine. And then we have all webinars right here. So if you want to watch all of these previous webinars that we have, they're all posted right here as well. And then if you want to see a breakdown of all of our trades, we have all the trades right here. So like May, April, March, February, January, and then it has all the breakdowns of every single trade here. So if you want to see the trades for, the totals for the month, they're right here, totals for the week right here. And then if you want to go back and see every trade we took, we have them broken down right here too. I have the time, the pair, the direction, entry, exit, and then the profit loss right here. So you guys can go back and vet pretty much every trade that I've taken, and see for yourself if it's legit or not. But yeah, that's pretty much all that you guys get. Yeah, let me go back to the charts. Ahmad said 50 bucks for the month, and you can get dinner every day. Yeah, exactly. Let's see what else we got here. But yeah, so what I was saying earlier, you should look at the overall trend, because if you trade in the opposite direction of trend, like right here, if you took this sell signal but price was trending upwards, you could have either made a small profit or ended up with a loss. But if you took a buy when the trend is upwards right here where it's green, you could have made a really nice profit off this right here, even if you're using the pivots. You know, you can see the trend right here as well. If price is above, so if you're not using the trend meter, you see prices above the trend, you take a buy right here, it's a nice win. Again, right here, a nice win, another win. Right here, a sell, it would have retraced down. I mean, it would have came down and then it would have reversed back up because the trend is trending upwards. So that's why I would only trade in the direction of the trend. Okay, so let me, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna look at the charts real quick because it's about to be 6. And then I'll go back to your question. So let me just scan through every pair real quick. You guys can see how I look for trades. OddCAD. Aaron, what do you think about OddCAD?
No,
there's a zone.
It's too close to support. I mean, resistance.
Yeah.
Unless it breaks above that zone, then we'll buy. But it's too risky right now.
Yeah, guys. So if you guys use all of the indicators, you know, this gives you a huge advantage because you can see right here.
Oh my God.
You know, someone could have taken a buy right here. So if I take off the SR, someone might have taken this buy right here if you didn't see that there was a zone right there. But since we have the K2SR indicators, we would have avoided this buy and wouldn't have gotten caught in this rejection right here because there is obviously a zone right there. If I turn on the SR and I delete this, you can see there's a zone right there. So this would have saved us from, you know, taking unnecessary, very risky trade right here. Put that back on there. So we're gonna skip that. This is on THF. Like I mentioned in the last webinar, if you guys are still in this trade, I'd recommend that you exit as soon as it makes it in profit. Reason for that is because, you know, our TPs are up here, but there's a ton of zones. So price is going to have trouble getting to this area. So once you make it in profit, I suggest to just get out of the trade and, you know, we'll take another entry at some other point. But the thing is with this trade right now, it's literally just ranging within the zone. So if I draw this right here, like even our stop loss is below the zone right here. So the thing is it's just going to keep bouncing and you're not going to get anywhere. So if you're still in this THF, I recommend you guys probably exit if you guys have the opportunity. Otherwise, just wait for it to go into profit. JPY right here. This looks like it could be a nice sell if price breaks below it. So price is going to have to break below the zone like I mentioned earlier for us to take a sell. So I'm just going to mark it with orange. This just means that it's pending, you know, to check on it later. Damn, man, we should have took this AN earlier. Remember the one I mentioned?
Hey, why didn't we? I forgot. Why didn't we call that one?
I can't remember
about that one.
But yeah, so guys, I was looking at this at 10 o'clock. You know, we had an entry right here. Unfortunately, we didn't take that one. I'm on to US indices dropping.
Let's see.
It is. Let's see how much does it drop by. Yeah, if you guys are in this trade, most of you guys should have gotten out once it hit TP1. It dropped about 500 pips. I don't know if it's going to keep coming down because the thing is, it's because Asia is just opening right now. It's about to be 6. So Asia is getting into full swing. That's why it's having a lot of volatility right now. But I don't know if it's going to hold. Well, but we'll see about that. So I might call a nighttime Asia trade too. I'm just going to keep an eye on the clock just in case. I'm going to set up my alerts. So let's see. Yeah, Mod, you should probably pull out. If you're in profit, I would just get out because it's just it's very unpredictable right now, just the way that the market's been moving. I know most people got out already in profit, but yeah. So let's go back to the trades real quick. NCD is a good trade, but we missed this trade. The entry was way up here. It's just way too far for us to get into the trade at this time. I think we didn't call this, Aaron, because there was a zone right here.
Well, probably yeah. It was too close, like 20 pips. Not 20 pips, but around like 15 pips from support.
Yeah, it was a little too close. Let's keep going down. So this would be a nice sell right here. Why do I have it? Over here.
Okay, that might be a good trade if it breaks below that zone.
Yeah, let me.
Damn, a lot of it's just dropping. God damn.
Yeah, stuff's trying to drop right here.
Wow. Oh, shit. The AUD pairs are dropping right now.
Yeah, Bill just said you might want to call your GA buy right now.
Yeah, everything is dropping. This is crazy. Damn.
Is there news right now? Let me check.
I have no idea. There has to be. Damn.
That's weird. There's no news right now. Let's see. There might be something going on in Australia. Let's see. U.S. town prints own currency to boost coronavirus. You see this here?
Well, that's crazy.
What's that? So, which U.S. town is printing their own currency right now? It's got to be a small town. That doesn't make any sense. So they're just gonna take fake money? Look at it. Check this out, bro. Washington.
Mhm.
It's the printout. It's $25.
Wow, I'm dead.
Wooden banknotes. Each month spent at local businesses. This is crazy. So they give out these wooden bills for $25, spend them at the businesses. I mean, that didn't affect the AUD, that's for sure. All right, so that's weird. Yeah, it looks like the AUDs are coming down. So we have this lined up right here. I'm gonna put the stop loss.
UJ might look nice. I don't know if you want to call it. Oh yeah, UJ looks pretty nice.
All right, what do you think about this? 84 pips, or should I move it above the resistance?
Yeah, that one looks pretty cool.
So 84 pips. Well, I'll keep that marked up just in case. CT said the dollar is rising. So let's check out AU real quick. Yeah, yeah, it is. Looks like it. Oh yeah, duh. Obviously, I was reading it wrong. Yeah, so AUD is actually weaker. Oh, you know why? It's because the so earlier this week, I'm not sure if you guys are following the news, but Australia announced like another lockdown. So that's why the AUD has been weak pretty much this whole week. So maybe there's an update regarding that lockdown. Maybe they're going to be locked down for a long time, and that's probably causing it to. Hey, what's up, John? John just joined. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really see any news. Usually it comes up here pretty quick on Forex Factory. Well, whatever. We just have this marked up right here just in case it closes below. I have about 6 minutes, so I'm going to zoom right through this stuff.
Hey, UJ looks pretty nice. I don't know if you want to call it, though.
I'll take a look right now. Let's see.
All right.
This is kind of too close. I was going to call this, but it's too close to the zone right here.
Yeah, a lot of pairs are they've been consolidating this whole week and last week. Well, actually, this whole month, shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this month and like towards the end of last month.
Exactly. It's been not too pretty.
CAD CHF. This would be too close to this lower zone, so I wouldn't have taken it. NJPY. Yeah, why didn't we call this, Aaron?
I have no clue. I think it was too close to the zone as well.
Yeah, it was 54 pips. That's crazy. Yeah, this would have been a nice sell.
I think you said you were going to come back to that one later. I don't know what happened. You probably forgot.
Yeah, I did. Well, I for sure know it didn't look good when we looked at it. I had it marked, so I think I thought I was going to come back to it, but I didn't. Damn, we missed this trade too, bro. What the
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. What the hell?
What happened? We missed all these trades. Yeah, Bill said the last 2 weeks have been so slow with many ranging pairs. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree, Bill. Like we have. So let me look at the results real quick. We usually have a lot of pips during the week.
I wonder what's going on. It's like I feel like they're waiting for like a huge announcement to be made.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, bro. I don't know. Something else. So yeah, normally. So if you look at our pip results for like the just for Forex, we're pretty high, like in the thousands. So January was like 1,700. February is 500. It was a weird month. March was 3,000. April was 1,000. May was 1,000. June was 2,000, and then July we're just really slow this month. I mean, we're in week 2 already. We only had 134 pips this week, probably 100 pips too, or close to 200. But we should be, in the thousands by next week. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen for FX. Indices, on the other hand, indices are always going to be good. So this is like our main bread and butter right now, because generally, like one US 30 trade will cover a whole week of FX trades. So while the market's slow, we just focus on other things until it picks up again. Hopefully, we start trending again for FX, but honestly, we don't really know. especially with COVID, there's like new COVID announcements like almost every day. See nothing there. I'm just gonna zoom through these real quick, guys, because we just don't have that much time to really analyze these right away. Hey, Aaron, what do you think about EC? There's no there's no support.
That one was pretty good. It could free fall from there. And a nice daily close as well.
Oh, there's one right here. So we got that. Let me go to the 4 hour. Yeah, never mind. It's way too close. 8 pips, bro. Yeah. So we're gonna skip that. Here's our EG. Still waiting for that to hit full TP down there. I mean, EG barely moves anyway, so I'm not expecting crazy movement until London. EJ, or EJ could be good, but there's a lot of support here too. Let's see. Yeah, it's too close. 12 pips, not worth the risk. EN would have been good, but there's a support right there. If price broke below the support, it'd be awesome, but it's not looking good. I'm glad we didn't call this trade.
Man, for real.
We were gonna call this trade for you guys last night, but I was like, it's not looking good, and look what happened. It's definitely not looking good.
It was never in profit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so funny, bro. We were, oh man, if we call this, we've been so fucked. Like, let me see. God, 100 pips, bro. People would have been so pissed, man. The chat would have been going nuts, blaming me for everything. All right, so let's delete that. I'm glad we didn't call that trade. Bill said, I've been trading for 8 years. My style is Elliott Way. Very impressed with you and your team. I'm definitely signing up. I recommend anyone else units also. Yeah, Bill, so that's perfect. If you like Elliott Wave, you know, these are our momentum indicator right here will help you out a lot because, you know, if you can identify the waves, like you can see right here is like one wave, it comes down. So like the start of the second wave right here, if you had this buy signal, bro, you could have made so much money off this right here. Like 500 pips almost. But yeah, you know, since Elliott Wave is based on trend, you know, trend movements, this will work perfectly with you because if you have, I mean, you use the pivots indicator, you can see the direction of price. You know, you use the trend meter below to see the overall trend as well. But then you tie that in with your own strategy and you literally have like a super strategy. That's what a lot of people in K2 use. Like they have their own strategies, but they merge them with the K2 indicators and it just makes their strategy so much better. Similar to right here, you can see, you know, we had the like a small Elliott wave right here, like one wave, 1, 2, and then you just see it reverse right here. You can take this one, 1, 2. Honestly, I don't really trade Elliott waves. Oh, so this is a perfect one right here, actually. So 1, 2, 3. On this third wave, you could have taken this sell and then just took this for a nice win. What's up, Aaron?
It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking like we should just wait for it to actually move a little bit before we take a trade because I noticed that, man, like after we enter a trade, bro, it just a lot of the times it'll go in reverse on us.
Yeah, exactly. Then it'll come back down. Then on London.
Yeah, that's why it's a lot better. Just I think give it a little bit of time. Not too much time, obviously, because we'll miss the move, but it would be good just to so the stop orders will actually work. So we don't have people like confused about the order types. Yeah, this is the GA that we were looking at earlier, bro. It would have been good if it broke above the zone. I mean, technically, it looks like, no, I didn't. So that you can see the green is within the zone right here. So this, I mean, this would have been a great trade if it closed above it. So that'd be cool right there. Let's see if there's anything else here. GC. Did I mention this to you earlier, Aaron?
I think so.
I did, right? But yeah, but it was too close to the thing. I mean, this would have been good for a TP1. What were we looking at earlier again? CAD-JPY?
I think so, yeah. Bro, hey, look at UJ, bro. I think UJ's about to, oh shit, it probably already tanked. Did it tank already? It was a nice setup. Oh, not yet, not yet.
Oh, we'll get it right there. Let's see. Let me see if there's another zone. How far is the zone from there? Let's line this up right here. It's kind of tight, bro. It's like literally 20 pips. What do you think?
He says it's only 20 pips.
Yeah, it's like literally 20. So let me, yeah, it's like a 20 on the dot. It's kind of risky, huh?
Yeah, it's too risky. Yeah.
So let me see what the entry would look like, because if that doesn't even hit TP1, that's too risky. Yeah, because a full TP would be about 75, 76 pips. Yeah, it's a little too risky, it looks like. If I hold off on that. Let me just scan through these real quick again, just to make sure there's nothing here. Did we call this GJ, Aaron? I don't think we did, huh?
Yeah, I don't think we did.
Yeah, man. See, this would have been yeah, this would have been a good entry. So if you guys are using the K2 zone strategy, like I mentioned before, you know, when you see the momentum of price, I'll write the requirements here just so you guys can see. So this is going to be one of our other strategies, the K2 zone strategy. And basically what you're doing is you're just trying to identify the direction of momentum. And then when price breaks a zone, giving you confirmation that, you know, price is going to continue in that direction. So first we're going to identify direction of price, K2 momentum indicator. Second, identify break, close, past, break, past, close.
Oh my God, it's hot as hell.
Oh, it is. I'm glad I got AC here though. I'm chilling. But if it goes off, I'd be dying. So let's see.
I'm in the car right now.
You're in your car? What are you doing in your car?
Bro, got dogs, bro. They're annoying.
Making all that noise.
Man.
Sure. So this strategy is used on the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. It's just, you know, a quick breakdown. There's a detailed explanation in the course, but this is just a quick breakdown. So basically, you want to identify the direction of price. You're going to do that by looking at the K2 momentum indicator. So if you get a valid buy, like we did right here, where it's a buy signal with a green bullish candle, that's a valid buy. Right here would be a valid sell because it's a red sell signal with a red bearish candle. You can see right here, we identify the direction of price because we had a buy momentum right here. Next, you want to identify breaking close past the K2SR zone. So this is a K2SR zone right here. As you can see, price came up, rejected, came down, came back up right here, and closed above the zone. So in this situation, it would give you a valid entry for this strategy. Next, you enter on the open of the falling candle. So we would have entered right here. And then generally, our TP1 would be halfway, somewhere around here. TP1 isn't where we place our profit target. This is just a reminder that once price crosses this area, you want to move your stop loss to this point. So in this situation right here, as price crossed above, you would have moved your stop loss up here to this exact TP1 so that if price was to come down like it did right here, you would have been closed out for half of this profit. So half of this profit would be like about 60 to 61 pips, which is half of 123. So, you know, it's a win-win situation for you. You know, it allows you to exercise proper risk management, and it helps you pretty much maximize your wins and eliminate your losses for the most part. Since we almost always hit TP1, like it generally, we don't, like price doesn't go the opposite direction all the way straight to, you know, stop loss that many times. Generally, we go to at least TP1 where you can at least lock in some profits and eliminate your risk for the most part. But yeah, that's pretty much what this entry would have been like. We didn't take it, but I know some other people took it. So GN, no entry on GN, GU. Aaron, did we talk about GU? I forgot.
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, GU right here. This would have been a good entry right here. We didn't call it. I don't remember why. This entry came at 6 a.m. Looks like we missed it. I mean, but it's still available to enter if we wanted to enter at the entry point.
Oh my.
61 pips. Yeah, if we wanted to enter right here, it would be good, but I don't know. Price is just it's not moving very much. Generally, if price isn't moving, you really don't want to enter a trade. You don't want to get caught in a trade where it's moving sideways for like 6-7 hours and then it just shoots in the opposite direction. It might shoot in your direction, but you're still taking that risk, you know, because you don't have no edge in the market. So we would just avoid that. And see, we were looking at this earlier. If we had a buy signal, I think this is what CT was looking at earlier too. If we had a buy signal, it'd be a great entry, but there's no buy signal. So technically momentum is still going down. The thing is, until we get a buy signal, we won't have confirmation that price is pretty much swapping the other direction. NZD-CHF, I think we called, Aaron, did we call this in NC?
I think we did.
And it
hit TP number 1, then it dropped.
Yeah, so this is yeah, no trade there. NJ. Yeah, see, so right here we wouldn't have taken this because there's a resistance that's really close. What would be cool here is if price comes down, tests that support, and then it shoots up, you get a buy signal, I would take a buy. But we'll just have to wait for that. NZD USD. I don't think we called this. Just delete that. Oh, I was going to take this. So I was going to take this when it broke above here. Good thing I didn't. You know, as you can see, the market is just not moving properly. It's literally just bouncing around. This is our USD CHF. It's not looking so great, but I think it can still come down. So let me look at the pivots. Pick up the SR. Yeah, so technically, if you look at USD CHF, it's still in a downtrend. It's trying to move upwards, but the thing is, it might reject off this pivot right here and then shoot back down. So I wouldn't be too worried about this. It still has a lot of room to go until it hits, you know, either direction, but there's still some time. So I'll leave that alone for now. And then lastly, our UJ. What do you think, Aaron? Should we still call it or what?
I mean, shit. It looks cool, but it's
no, it's too close to the support.
Exactly. See how US30 look.
CT said NZD CAD with signal. That's what he's looking at. Wait, how do you get a signal? This real quick.
He probably has Oanda.
Oh, he's on a different chart.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, see, you're using the Oanda data. Personally, I don't really like Oanda data. I feel like it's not as accurate. I mean, you can use it. It's just for Forex. I feel like on Oanda, I get a lot of false signals, and that's why I stopped using it. When I first started trading, I used to use Oanda, and I would get false signals all the time. And then I matched it with Forex.com, and I just had way better results. So that's why I use that data. But I mean, even so, it's still at that resistance. So that's one reason why I wouldn't have taken it. I mean, it would have been good if it closed above, but unfortunately. Yeah, so he said he's waiting for it to close above. So he has a he has the original SR indicator on right now. And then he's waiting for the green candle to close above. So that's the thing. So regardless as to whether we're looking at my chart or his, the thing is he has a buy signal ready. But even if we had a buy signal right here, I wouldn't take it because the resistance is right there. But even so, if price closes above it, we're probably going to get a buy signal on our end. So our trade would match up with his trade regardless. And that's what's good about, you know, using different analyses and even different data, because generally at the end of the analysis, they generally line up. So it should be fine. But I'll keep an eye on that too. I have it marked on my chart just in case. But yeah, I looked through all the pairs and I didn't see anything good. So unfortunately, you know, we're not going to have any trades for the next couple hours, I guess. Let me look at the news real quick if there's anything coming up. Forex news. I don't think anything there. So we do have some very high impact Canadian news at 5:30 a.m. So if anything, our last trade might come at 10 o'clock tonight, which is the next 4-hour candle close. And if we see anything, we'll give them to you guys. If not, then we might sit it out and just call it a week because it's already Friday tomorrow. And we have high impact news at 5:30. So let's go back to the questions. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I'm going to keep going down, and I'm just going to knock out these questions as we move along. Let's see. I'm just going to see if I missed anything. Oh, nice. Ahmad said he scalped $12. That's pretty good. I mean, profit is profit. Like, a lot of people don't like taking small profit, but honestly, I'll take any profit. I'll take any profit over any loss. That's for sure. Kafondo's asking about the signals. So yeah, Kafondo, if you just want the signals, we have that as well. So let me just pull this up right here. I'll get the link for you so we can. All right. So if you go on our other website, K² Trades, or yeah, so if you go to the K² Trades website, on the top right here it says K² Trading Premium Signals. You can click on that, and then it'll take you to just the signal. So if you don't want the indicators and you just want to copy my trades, you can go to this right here and then just click on enroll in course, and then it'll show you down here how to get it. It's $50 a month. You pretty much get to copy all of my trades, and you have access to all the premium groups. So if you guys have access to premium, you'll have access to this channel right here, which is the K² Premium Signals channel. And pretty much in this channel, I'm the only one that posts in here, me and Aaron. And then I post, I pretty much post all my trades. So if I'm taking a trade, I'll post the details here, the direct parameters from, the pair, the direction, the order type. I'll give you updates throughout the day, like what I'm doing, if I'm looking for trades, and then updates for every single trade that I send out. So this will have every detailed analysis of all my trades. We also have the K² Premium Trade Talk. So in this chat right here, this is all the premium members, and we just talk about trades here. So if you want to share ideas, there's people here sharing their ideas for their own specific trades, any ideas that come up. And lastly, you'll have access to the K² Premium chat. So this is pretty much a chat for all the premium members, and everyone here just pretty much chats among each other. You'll see Jay here a lot. Is Jay in this chat? He's not here. But yeah, you'll see Jay here talking about his wife pretty much throughout the whole day. Let's see if I think Jay posted his wife earlier. Let's see, where's she at? She at Aaron, you see her? I mean, a lot of people like to just be in premium just to be in this chat because this chat's pretty funny. So if you're in here, you'll just you'll see people messing around throughout the day. So Jay said that was his wife, but this is what his wife really looks like. So everyone's asking Jay what his wife looks like, and it gives you a nice little preview of that. So yeah, if you're part of the premium, you'll have access to all of these premium chats, and then you'll have access to all my trades. So let's see. Ahmad's asking, in a matter of seconds, does the trial have more index trades or pairs? So Ahmad, I personally trade all Forex pairs. So I trade all of these FX pairs, but for indices, I only trade US 30. So if you want trades for the other indice pairs, we have another K² Indices Alert channel over here. So let me see if I can find it. So right here is the K² Indices Alert, and this will have different indices on here as well. So this will have some US 30 calls, and then Wade usually runs this channel, so he'll have other calls here. So he has calls for S&P, NASDAQ, pretty much all of the main indexes that anyone likes to trade. You know, he has NASDAQ here, S&P, Dow Jones, pretty much whatever you guys are looking for. But if you have access to the the K2 indicators, you can apply the indices strategies yourself, and it's real simple. I think those are probably the easiest strategies that you can apply, actually. So let's get back to the questions. So I think, let's see if there's anything else here. Let's see. Stefano said, look at US 30. Mod said, oh, yeah, see, it's just that KOT kind of sucks. Oh, for sure. I would never recommend KOT. Let's see if we have that picture here. I don't know if you guys have seen this picture before. I'm sure you guys probably have. So we have one here for, I mean, you could ask anyone in the K2 Premium. So you can see here, the Zeke is like, get out of caught. But there's a picture here that's real funny. Oh, like this. So this isn't even from our group. This is from another group, another trading company. And there was a guy there, he was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now, but I want my money back from caught. I had a 25 pip stop and it's still not honoring it. So he literally blew his account. Like his account went past his stop loss and he went to a negative like 21,000. So he blew his entire account, and then caught wasn't, they just didn't give a shit. Like they were kind of like, all right, well, sucks for you. So this is why I would never use caught. And this is a legit guy too. See, he was from Wall Street Academy. This isn't even K2. But this is kind of messed up, but it's funny because we always tell people not to use caught, but people don't want to listen. So if someone wants to use caught, that's on them. But I wouldn't risk any money with caught because that could happen to you. I mean, it's really messed up because he had a 25 pip stop loss and it just went like, I don't know how far it dropped, like 1,000 pips, something like that. That was when GU was dropping like crazy. One more question from Wad. How about MT4? So the indicators only work on TradingView, Ahmad. A lot of people still trade on MT4. What they do is they do their charting on TradingView so they can get the entries. And then once they have the entry, they'll just enter on their phone on MT4. That's pretty much what I do with US 30 because, obviously I don't have US 30 on TradingView. So what I do is I chart the entry and I just have my phone in my hand. So once I have the entry, I'll just hit buy or hit sell, and then I'll put in the parameters. But yeah, it looks like indices are starting to drop. I don't know if it's going to drop that far down though. So I wouldn't freak out too much. Otherwise I'm not really sure how it's going to move. We would just have to wait until Asia session continues on. So let's see. I'm going to keep going down the Q&As now, guys. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. And then I'm going to just keep going down the list. Looks like we have about 12 more questions here. And I'll be checking. Yeah, no problem, Ahmad. We'll see you in the premium soon then. You'll have fun with Aaron and Jay and everybody. Aaron, you still here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought you left. All right, cool. Let's check this out. So James is asking, could this strategy apply to DAX on the open of the London session? So let's see, is James still here? No, he's not here, but I'm going to go over it real quick. So I'm just going to do it real quick. Just so, if he wants to watch it later, as you guys know, all of the webinars are recorded. So if you guys ever want to go back and watch any webinar that we had, you can go to the YouTube page, or if you're on the course, let me show you. So if you guys are on the course, you can go here under K2 Trading Room and Training Webinar with Shawn. And then you can see that, I have all of the links here. So these are pretty much the individual links, but I ended up just putting them in one big link right here. So if you click on this link, it'll pull up our YouTube page. And then you can see all of the webinars here. So there's a webinar twice every week. So there's a ton of webinars here. We have about 33 webinars. So if you guys have anything that you want to look at, has the date here, for any specific date that we discuss, and then you can just go ahead and watch or rewatch, any webinar that you guys might have missed. But okay, so let's go back to the DAX. So pretty much, let me just copy this real quick. Because the strategy is exactly the same. It's just, it's just applied on a different asset. All right, so the DAX opened at midnight, which was this right here. But we had that weird movement last night. So let's skip yesterday's. So we're just looking right here. So this is midnight over here. So this is the problem. The thing with the DAX is London opens at midnight. I'm not sure when the actual stock market opens. The thing with the US 30 is I trade it when the stock market opens, not when the US opens. Because I think, does US open like at 5:30, I think? But the stock market opens like about an hour later. So I'm not sure if, if it's better to enter an hour later or if it's better to enter on the actual open. So actually, okay, so I was looking on the wrong time frame. Let me just go back to today's or yesterday's actually, and I'll see if there was an entry. All right, so right here, actually there was an entry here. It was because I was looking on the wrong time frame. So let me go to midnight. So at midnight my time, that's when the London opened. So London opened right here, right? Pretty much what you're gonna do is you're gonna wait for entries after London open. I don't know what time London opens on your time, but it's midnight my time. So this isn't the official strategy, guys, so don't follow this. I'm just gonna look over it real quick because a lot of people are asking if it works on other indexes for that specific country's time frame. So right here, look for entries after London open. London open right here at midnight. Take the first valid K2 signal. You can see right here, we have a K2 signal. So first two requirements are met. We waited for London to open. We see that the first valid K2 signal is right here. So right there, we enter on the open of the following candle right here. You put your stop loss at the previous swing, which is somewhere over here, about 800 pips. So 800 pips is up there. And then our TP1 is generally going to be like halfway. I don't trade the DAX, so I don't know what's a good stop loss. I don't know if this is too wide of a stop loss, 800 pips. Maybe you should be tighter. 600 pips, 700 pips. I just don't have a good understanding as to how the DAX moves and works. So I technically can't give the right TP stop loss parameters without knowing. But yeah, this is pretty much the entry right here. It looks like it pulled down and it shot back up. So I'm not sure if this would be area for TP1 or TP2 for you to move your stop loss. Maybe move your stop loss to break even or something like that. You probably would have gone out at break even. Otherwise, if you held on to it, it looks like it probably would have hit stop loss. So let's go back to the one for the day before. So this doesn't look like a good entry, but there was also prices moving weird last night. We also took a US 30 trade last night, and it didn't play out well. So let's see right here, another entry right here. This look for entries after London open. This is midnight right here. Take the first valid K2 signal. So as you can see right here, this is when market opened. This would be the first valid K2 signal right here. Since I'm not familiar with the proper stop loss areas, I'm just gonna place it, randomly. So I'm just gonna put it right here, and I'm just gonna let TradingView set the stop loss for me. So it set it at 600 pips. I don't know if that's a good range or not, but the TradingView set it for me. So pretty much right here, it looks like it would have been a winner for 600 pips if you apply the same strategy for the London DAX. Let me see what else we got here. So the one before that, sorry guys, computer's running really slow right now. All right, so right here, I'll just drop this, or I'll just go over it with you guys real quick, so I don't have to waste too much time going over this, because I don't think, I don't think James is here. So yeah, I'll just go over real quick. So this is like a London Open right here. And then if you take the first entry, actually it's on the next one. So this is London. So maybe it's not good to enter right on London Open. It might be like an hour later. Like for me on US 30, I wait an hour after the US opens because the stock market opens an hour later. So the thing is right here, if you took this trade, it looks like it might have been a loss. Or if you got out at TP1, so let's see, if you enter this trade right here, and then you put the stop loss at previous swing right here for like about 570 pips. So your TP1 would have gotten hit. So generally TP1 would be halfway, would be somewhere over here. So technically price did reach TP1, you zoom in. So if price shot up there, you would have exited around this point because you would have moved your stop loss to that point. However, you know, if you look at this from a different perspective and you don't enter on, you know, right when London opens and you wait maybe an hour or so, you could have gotten a better entry. Because if you skip this one right here and took this trade instead, you would have done a whole lot better, it looks like. So let me just place this short position right here. And then looks like it would have hit TP right here for 465 pips. But, you know, I don't trade the DAX, so I can't give you recommendations on, you know, what time and how and where to trade it. You know, this is something that you should probably back test and figure out on your own. How should it work? You know, we have another entry right here. So market opened right here. This entry came an hour later. So you can see right here, the good candles come an hour later. Maybe it's better to wait an hour later instead of taking it right when the market opens. So this happened right here. This was a win for 748 pips. Let me go back to the first entry. Maybe that one was the same situation. It's kind of like sort of the same situation right here. So the thing is, if you waited an hour, you wouldn't have taken this candle because this is just an hour. So you would have skipped this one right here as well. And you would have taken this one right here actually, because you know, this is invalid signal. This is on the hour. So if you waited for after the hour, you would have taken this one because this would have been the first valid signal. So if you take this trade right here, and then you put your stop loss at the previous swing, which is right here, and then stop loss at 383. I mean, yeah. So stop loss was the previous swing, TP1, same distance away, you would have hit TP. But again, guys, I'm not familiar with the DAX, so I can't give you guys recommendations on how to trade it. But, you know, just from, you know, quick observation, just looking at where it actually hits, you know, it might be best to just trade it after an hour from London Open. So again, right here. So here's another example. This actually works really well. So maybe I'll start, you know, implementing this or teaching this. So this is midnight right here. Wait an hour for market open. Start looking for trades right here. It's an invalid signal. Would have skipped that. Right here is a valid buy. Took that. A winner for 844 pips. It could have went upwards to, you know, nearly 2,000 pips. But yeah, guys, you know, if you guys want to trade this and you guys have access to the indicators, you guys are more than welcome to, you know, test whatever type of strategy you like. And that just makes you a better trader because you're actually learning. You're not just, you know, copying signals or, you know, copying strategies, you know, word for word. If you're teaching yourself your own strategy using the indicators, that's perfectly fine. Let's see. CT said, what's the difference between US 30 cash, US 30 IMAX, and US 30 M? So the right one, CT, is going to be US 30 LMAX _ M. So yeah, so US 30 cash, I don't think that's going to work because that's a different symbol. I don't think that's connected to FTMO. It's just on MT4. And then the WS30 IMAX or LMAX is a standard symbol. I don't think they let you trade that. We can only trade the minis. So I think you're better off with, well, I mean, you're not better off. That's the only option you can use. So you're going to have to use WS30 LMAX.M. Kafano's asking, what days are your live like now? What are the days of your live? So I'm live every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So I'm not sure where you're located, but that's about 5 p.m. California time. If you want to see the time zone converter, this is the website that I use. I just go to the timezoneconverter.com, and then it'll have your local time here, and then you could switch this to you could just put like Los Angeles. I'm located in Los Angeles, so put that, and then it'll have your time zone right there. So just depending on where you're located, I'm on the same time every week on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you have any questions, I'm always available. So I'll be here answering questions pretty much twice a week. And if anyone needs one-on-one help with strategies, I help with that too. So let's see. I've never seen someone go so in depth with everything. Yeah, no, definitely. I like going in depth because I want you guys to actually understand these things. There's a lot of companies that they teach, but they don't really teach. They just tell you to do things, but you don't really understand what they're explaining or what they're teaching. I want you to actually understand and get this ingrained in your mind, because the thing is, once you actually understand how to trade and read charts, like, dude, the possibilities are endless. And the thing is, if I'm successful, you could be successful too at trading. It's a learned skill. It's not something that you're born with. It's something that you learn with practice. But yeah, let's keep going. So CJ is asking, I'd say this call definitely makes me want to join y'all, no cap. Yeah, no, for sure, bro. Like, if, everyone in K2 helps each other. So, everyone wants everyone to succeed. So if you're part of the group, then, it's hard not to succeed. And if you're not doing well, everyone in the group is going to help you get better. Let's see, CJ said, do this US 30 strategy work for JUR 30? So yeah, it's pretty much what I just went over right now. It looks like it does for the most part, but it might need some tweaking. Like, it's not guaranteed. So let me just go over one more then, just to confirm. Okay, so right here, June 3rd. The thing is, we also have to pay attention to news, because the thing is, there's these weird movements here, and literally there's no entry until the US market. So if this happens right here, I would just skip it. If there's no entry during that session, then the session's over. You pretty much just wait for the next one. Let's see if there's anything else here. Midnight. So midnight was somewhere around here. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe we should avoid on open. So wait for an hour for market. So this would be an hour right here, and then this would be the first entry. So if you took this entry right here, there you go, and it looks like it would have been a win for 779 pips. But yeah, if you guys want to learn how to do this, I mean, it's real easy. Just use the same requirements and then go to the other asset. If it's DAX, it doesn't have to be DAX. Like, if you're in Australia and you want to trade the Australian 200, you can test it on there. If you're in Spain, you can trade the Spain 35, the France 40, the Japan 225, the NASDAQ, S&P, UK 100. All the indices kind of move similarly. They have high volatility, which is perfect for the K2 strategy since they're based on momentum. So it literally can work on any asset. You just have to go and test it and find the good sweet spot with regard to time in order for you to find a good entry. But yeah, okay, so let me go to the next question. Anonymous attendee said, how do you feel about price trap strategy? Personally, I've never heard of that strategy, so I can't really say. Aaron, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo, have you heard of the price trap strategy?
Nope. Never heard of it.
Yeah, sorry, I've never heard of that strategy, so I can't really go over it. It's not something that I want to try to learn right away and then teach you guys, because I might teach it wrong. And I don't like teaching stuff that I don't know. So unfortunately, I can't go over the price trap strategy. If let's see, if he's still here. Yeah, if you have a description as to how it works, I can probably figure out what it is, because I've pretty much gone through almost every strategy at some point. But I personally haven't heard of that. It might have been called something else. But personally, I've never heard of the price trap strategy. Ahmad said, how often do you have these calls for your team? So I have these calls every Tuesday and Thursday, every single week at 5 p.m. And then we generally go to 7 p.m. But if there's a lot of questions, I just keep going. This is something that I enjoy doing. I don't really see this as work. This is fun to me. So pretty much if we have a ton of questions, then I'll stay on the webinar for as long as we need to. I think our longest webinar probably went for like 4 or 5 hours. It was literally just me going over questions. So, if you have a lot of questions, just bring them to the webinar and I can answer them for you. I'll keep going until we're all done. Let's see, we have one more question from Grace. Grace said, if I were to do the same JUR 30 strategy and SPX, will it still be 1,500 pips? Grace says, you're not, let's see. Yeah, Grace, she's not here right now, but the thing with the German DAX and indices and like other indices is that they're all valued differently and measured differently. So you can see DAX here, it moves about 500 pips. It doesn't move like US 30 where it moves like, 1,000, 3,000 pips in like a couple hours. Here it moves a lot less. So the thing with the DAX is you're gonna have to understand how it moves. And that's why I can't give any recommendations where to put your stop loss and TP because I'm not familiar with how it moves. So if I go to US 30, look at US 30 here. Normally it'll move like thousands of pips, 1,000, 3,000 pips. Yeah, so it moves like 1,000, 3,000 pips right here. You can see it moves very smooth. This is why I choose US 30 over all of the other indices because it moves smoothly and it's very volatile. So it works perfectly with the K2 strategy because the K2 strategies are based on momentum. If you compare it to like the S&P doesn't move as much. I mean, it moves a lot, but the pippage is like in the hundreds. You can see here instead of 1,000, it's moving like 200, and that's why you'd have to understand how that specific indice works in order to apply the strategy. What I do recommend is that you find an indice that you really like and just focus on that one. There's no need to trade like 10 indices. Like for me, I only trade US 30 because that's what I'm good at. Once you find something you're good at, just master that and just keep getting better and better every day. This is my indice. Some people like to trade NASDAQ. I don't trade NASDAQ, so I'm not sure how it moves. If you measure this, you can see here that it kind of moves somewhere in between S&P and US 30. You can see right here it moves about 1,000 pips. So it moves a lot more than S&P, but just not as much as US 30. So although the strategy works on all assets, including all indices, you just have to understand how that specific indice moves with regard to setting your stop loss and your TP, because like basic rule of thumb is to put out your previous swing. Like if you were to enter this buy right here, your previous swing would be right here, which would be 220 pips. But the problem is I'm not familiar with it, so I'm not sure if it would be better to put your stop loss way back here to this other swing or if this is good enough. And that's just something that you would learn over time when you backtest and run your strategy, because you'll understand how the asset moves. So let me see, keep going. Questions. Ahmad said, what is going crazy for me right now? I've been scalping this whole entire call, and it's my first day trading it. Oh, NASDAQ? Yeah, I know. Like a lot of people really like NASDAQ, or they really like US 30 and S&P. S&P and US 30 move similarly, but NASDAQ moves differently because it's filled with mostly tech stocks, so it doesn't move in the same direction. But the tech stocks are just doing really well, so it's easy for you to like, I mean, you can literally take like every buy here and do pretty well. So like if you take this buy right here, if you take this buy, win, buy, stop loss is right here, so you would have won eventually. Another buy here, win, buy right here, win, buy right here. This would have been a loss probably, but I mean, you'd have like 5, 6 back-to-back wins over here. where it wouldn't even really matter. Yeah, no, NASDAQ is cool. 10-0, nice, nice. Yeah, I used to scalp US 30 a lot, but I just got tired of staring at the charts all day. If you look at the course, let me see. Yeah, so if you look at our course, we actually have a lot of scalping strategies here. So we have the pivot scalping strategy. This works on indices. It works on everything. We also have more scalping strategies over here. We have, the original scalping strategy, the indices scalping strategy. There's a ton of scalping strategies that you can learn here if you really like to scalp. What I do recommend is the pivots one. The pivots one is probably the best one. Let me see if I can show you an example here. So the way that the pivot scalp strategy works is that find a good. All right, so basically the way that this works is K2. Shit, sorry guys. K2 pivots scalping. So one, you want to identify trend. So I'm going to make this very simple. Of course, on the actual strategy explanation, it's going to be more detailed, but this is just going to be a very simple breakdown. Identify retracement, rejection of into pivot zone, valid K2 signal, and then lastly, it's round open candle. So this is just a real quick breakdown of the requirements. So pretty much the way that this works is 10-minute. All right, so the way that this works is first you want to identify a strong trend. So in order to identify a strong trend, you want to make sure that prices below the pivots are angling in the same direction. Like you can see here, they're all angling down. This is probably better. Let me find an area where it actually looks clean, because it's kind of hard to see where it's clean when the market's all fucked up. Because the market's just been all over the place, the past couple weeks. So it's kind of hard to find valid setups. This is a valid setup right here, but it's kind of small. So let's find something that's a little cleaner for you to see. Okay, so this is a really good setup right here. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to identify a strong trend. In order to do that, you want to make sure that price is below the K2 pivots. The pivots are angling in the same direction and they're spread out. So you can see we have level 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all spread out. Next, you want to identify a retracement and rejection off a K2 pivot. So as you can see right here, price came down. There was a retracement, I mean, sorry. So price came down, a retracement right here, and then it rejected right here. You can see from the wicks right here, it rejected off the K2 pivots, like the zoned area. So the first two requirements are met. You identified the strong trend downwards, you identified a retracement, and identified a rejection off the K2 pivot zone. Lastly, you want to identify a valid K2 signal. Right here we have a valid sell signal because it's a sell signal with a red bearish candle. And once you have those three requirements, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So pretty much right here, you can open a short position, place it right there, and then it would have hit TP right here for about 877 pips. And that's pretty much how the strategy works. There was another entry over here, but it was kind of a small entry. So again, right here, identify a strong trend. Price is trending upwards. Next, you identify a retracement. See, the problem with this, it's not a very strong retracement and rejection. It was kind of consolidating. You kind of want price to actually retrace. But technically, this would still be a valid entry. Personally, I wouldn't take it because it's not a strong entry. But just for demonstrational purposes, first requirement, identify the strong trend. Second requirement, identify retracement. Retracement right here. Third requirement, or part of the second requirement, identify rejection. You can see the wicks right here, but it's not a strong rejection. And then lastly, identify a valid K2 signal. Right here we have a buy signal with a green bullish candle. So you can enter on the open of the following candle. Right here, enter. And you can see right here, you know, you probably would have, I don't know, this stop loss looks way too wide. It's about 1,500 pips. And the thing is, the swing is like barely right here. So the thing is, the swing is right there. And that's only 440 pips. That's way too tight. Generally, spread is like 377 pips. So you want to push it out a little farther. So you might have pushed it out to, I don't know, 700 pips, 800 pips, somewhere like that, like 800 pips. And then generally, you would probably move your stop loss and profit as it reaches, you know, close to TP, just to eliminate your risk. Because, you know, the most important thing is risk management in trading. If you have a solid strategy, on top of that, you just need risk management. If you have proper risk management and a solid strategy, then, you know, you're almost guaranteed to be a profitable trader. But yeah, I mean, this was an ugly entry. So this is why I wouldn't take it, because it wasn't trending very much. It was just going sideways. But let me see if there's one more entry before I keep going through the questions real quick. Okay, there's another entry right over here. All right, so right here, we have a strong trend downwards. So I'm just gonna skip this one because the trend didn't start till right here. And you know, you're kind of skipping the first requirement because you wanna see a strong trend downwards. So we're gonna skip this right here. The trend didn't establish until this signal came out. So we're gonna go down to over here because right here you can see the pivots are pretty spread out and they're angling down. So this would be a downtrend right here. Identify the retracement right here. Identify the rejection right here off the level 4 pivot. And then it's followed with a K2 sell signal right here that's valid. So you'd enter a sell on the open of the following candle. And then as you can see right here, price came down about really close to full TP. So generally our TP1 would be about halfway. So as price crossed this area, we move our stop loss to TP1 right here. So in this situation where price came back the opposite direction, you'd have gone stopped out right here. So you'd have locked in half profit. Full TP would have been about 533 pips. So you would have closed out for, I don't know, like 300 or 250 pips, which is perfectly fine because, you know, small profit is profit. All right, cool. So, you know, that's going over the scalp strategies real quick. Mod said, website layout is beautiful. Thanks. Yeah, no, it's real easy. So if you go on the website, everything is in order. Like literally when you sign up, you just need to go down in order. Just watch everything in order and you can learn literally everything and you'll learn how to trade exactly how I do. So, you know, if you want to trade like I do and keep it simple, you can learn exactly what I do. And the same strategies that I use for our signals. So we got a K2 alert real quick. Let me just pull that up. Oh, to buy. Hey guys, I'm still calling the Asia entry, so this might be another buy right here. Let me just mark it up real quick. So I'll come back to this in about 10 minutes. We still have about 9 minutes on this candle. Let me just delete everything else. We just kind of have too much on the chart right now, so let me just delete all this extra stuff. All right, I think that's. I just want to clean up the chart because I got too much stuff on the chart. All right, no, I think that's good. All right, so we might have an entry here. I'm going to leave this open. If we do have an entry, I'll let you guys know. We have about 8 minutes left on this candle, so I'm going to keep going down the questions while we wait for that entry. I'd say, what time is US 30 S&P usually most volatile? At around night. So usually the indices get pretty volatile around market open for each session. So aside from Australia session, because Australia session opens after the swap spread, but the Australian session opens at the swap spread, so you can't really, I mean, you're not going to see very much volatility during that time, but you'll see it around like 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. was right somewhere around here. This is when Tokyo opened, and that's why you saw a nice movement down here. But right here is like around when it was what's it called, when it was Australian session. So it's pretty much just consolidating. It was actually right here. So right here was 12, 3, so 13. So around this area right here, all the way up to here was Australia session. And then right here, 1600, this is when Tokyo opened. This is when you got some nice movement up and consolidate a little bit, and a little more movement right here. You can see right here, there's huge movement because this is when it's US session. You know, obviously this is when it's going to move the most, and this is when we normally trade it. Again, during London, you can see at London open right here, there's a bit of movement. So if you just, let me see if I measure this. So you can see during London, it moved about, 1,500 pips during the entire London session, which is not too much, but it's decent. It looks better right here when it's you don't see this huge movement from the US session. But you can see London, US pretty nice, but during Asia session, it just happens during Tokyo Open. You can see that it moves pretty nicely, not amazing, but it moves a lot more than it does during the Australian session. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Okay, so that's what's about 1,000 pips. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on the clock. Once it reaches 7 o'clock, I might call it. Let's see. So I'm gonna keep looking around real quick. So we only have 4 questions left. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to call this entry for US 30 if it appears. If not, then I'm gonna keep looking. I'm gonna start calling a PM session for or a nighttime daily US 30 entry. I did a ton of back testing during this time period, and I figured out the sweet spot. So actually, never mind, we missed this trade. The sweet spot is actually, oh no, we're good. So the entry's after 6:30. It's only 6:54. So 6:30 was right here. So pretty much any time after this, I'm going to be looking for an entry. And it'd be this right here. So I'm anticipating, generally, the way that this works is, when market opens for a new session, it sets the direction. So you can see right here, market opened right here, and then the momentum candle will basically give you the direction of price for the rest of that session. So that's pretty much how this strategy works so well. You can see over here, market opened at 6:30. Our first signal right here gave a sell direction. So this gave you the bias for the rest of the day. So we entered a sell right here, and look what happened. It went straight down. So that's exactly how the strategy works. It's extremely simple. The thing is, we have, we can see the direction of momentum. A lot of people can't see the direction of momentum because they don't have this indicator. This indicator was something that I developed, so it's not something that's readily available to other people who don't have access to K2. So again, right here, this is 6:30 when the market opened. What we're doing is we're waiting for the first K2 signal to direct us to the direction of momentum. So right here, market open at 6:30. This is the first signal right here. What happens after the first signal? It goes down for the entire day. So that's pretty much how this strategy works if you guys are not familiar with how the daily strategy works. So right here, this looks like a perfect entry. So we have 3 minutes left. I'm going to try to wait for it. See, Lester is asking, can I enter US 30? Yeah, Lester. So if this candle, is Lester still here? Yeah, Lester's still here. Yeah, Lester. So in about 3 minutes when this candle closes, if this closes with a buy signal, then yes, we're going to take this. And then Sifando's asking, will you call a trade on US30? Yeah, so if this candle right here closes, I'm going to be calling this, but it's only going to be posted in the K² premium group. So only the premium members are going to get it. But since you guys are on here, you guys can catch it as I take it. But if you want the specific details, it's going to be posted in the premium group. I'll leave it on here for like a few seconds so you guys can copy it. But if you want, further signals from me and you want to copy exactly the trades that I'm taking, then it'll be posted in the K² premium group. So I'm just going to get it set up right now because I already know what direction it's going in. So you guys will see exactly how I set up, K² signals. So this is pretty much what it looks like. I have it set up like it is right here. And then I just delete this, and then I just put in new information. Obviously, I'm not going to have the information until the candle closes. So that's what I'm waiting for. But that's pretty much how I set the trade. Like I'll take the trade on my own account and I'll share it with you guys so you guys can mirror my trade as well. So if I win, we all win. And if you guys have been following K2 for a while, you guys will know, the track record for US30. It's super high probability. So this should be a good trade if it closes. Just waiting for it to close. We have about 1 minute and 40 seconds. So once this closes, I'm going to, I'll keep going over the questions. We have a couple more questions here, so I'll keep continuing with those. Mod said, I'm going to sell for NASDAQ. I think I should pull out. Let's see. No, NASDAQ is still in a good sell right here. Maybe if you got a buy, like if a buy signal came out, then I think you should maybe, but like I mentioned before, I don't know if the strategy works the same on NASDAQ because I don't trade it and I've never really back tested it. But otherwise, I think it should be fine. I mean, until it closes. Sorry, guys, I got a text message. I was just looking at my phone. We got about 41 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm opening up MetaTrader 4 because I'm going to take this trade on my phone if this entry closes. All right, let's see. We got 28 seconds left, guys. Let's get some money. Ahmad, so US30 and NASDAQ, they actually move different. US30 and S&P move in a similar direction. The thing is, US30 has the top 30 US stocks in this index, but NASDAQ has the top 100 tech stocks. They're not all tech stocks, but majority of them are tech stocks. And the thing is, they move different because the tech stocks have been doing a lot better than US30. Looks like there's no entry, guys. So we're gonna wait for this one over here if this closes. Well, let me just show you real quick. So I'll put them side by side. So let me zoom out of this one. Oh, nice. Got a text from Tesla, guys. If you guys are in the premium, you guys saw that I just bought a new Tesla Model X. They just texted me, said it was ready to get picked up. So I'm gonna pick that up soon. I'll be showing you guys too. And I'll show you what what K² profits can get you. Specifically US30. US30 has been crazy, man. Like we've been hitting US30 back to back to back. So it's been like a ton of wins for me. And I thought it was about time to treat myself. So I bought a Tesla. Let's see. So I'll show you guys. So NASDAQ. Nice. I'm pretty excited, Sisu. I'm gonna go on IG Live with you guys so I can show you. But yeah, so let's look at so here is NASDAQ and here is US30. You can see that they're actually, let's see. So right here, this is when they dropped this morning. The entire stock market actually just took a plunge this morning. So that's why it looks similar, but let me go to another day where price is just moving normally. So let me just take this off. Let me delete this. this thing. There we go. All right, cool. So I'll put it. Okay, so you guys can see right here. You can see right here that it's kind of. Let me zoom out this real quick. All right, so this gives you a better picture of like what's happening in the market. Actually, this is the 8th. So let me go back a week actually, because during this entire week, the stock market was kind of moving similarly, but let's do that. Okay. It's so hard to to get these lined up. So you can see right here, it kind of shot up, and then you can see right here, it was a sharp drop for US 30. You can see this is a huge drop down this way, but as you can see right here, NASDAQ, it dropped, but then it came back up, and then it dropped, and then it came back up. So technically, they kind of move in the same direction if the similar stocks are moving in the same direction. But if like you go to a point, there's some point in times where, like when COVID was pretty big, a lot of the US 30 stocks were tanking, but the NASDAQ stocks were doing well because they're tech stocks. So like companies like Zoom, like what we're using now, Zoom got huge because everyone was at home using Zoom. Also like Spotify, all those other tech stocks. Let's see this right here. Yeah, so if you look at this right here, you can see that price, it moves kind of similar, but then there's random times where price will spike. Like you can see right here on US 30, it shot up right here about like almost 3,000 pips. But if you look at NASDAQ, it was actually going downwards. It was dropping like 500 pips. So, that's why you don't want to trade them side by side. But the thing is, if you look at, so if I go to S&P, this actually moves a lot more similar. It still has differences from time to time because the S&P has 500 stocks compared to the US 30, which only has 30 stocks. But they're a lot more similar than US 30 is with NASDAQ. So as you can see right here, the S&P, because the S&P is not based on tech stocks. It has a good mix, but you can see right here, they're pretty much moving the same direction sideways. Same drop, same rise, but you can see this rise over here was a lot higher compared to US 30 over here. So that's where you can see, the differences between the two. So let me go back to US 30 real quick. Cafano said the call closed you. Oh no, so I didn't call it yet, Cafando. I'm still waiting for an entry. So I'm waiting for a buy signal. If I get a buy signal right here, like we did right here, then I would take a buy. I'm hoping for a buy because we're currently in a buy from the US session. So I want both of them to win. So if we get a buy here, odds are we're gonna have full TP here and we're gonna have TP here as well. So that's why I'm more set on it going upwards. So that's basically what I'm waiting for right now. If it appears, then I'll make the call. If it doesn't, then we're just gonna have to wait on it. But let me keep going through the questions real quick. I think we have a couple left. Francisco is asking, let me see, Francisco's still here. Sorry, Francisco. I know he was asking earlier and I never got to his question. He's asking for my opinion on EJ. I was looking at that earlier, actually. So EJ looks like a sell. So I don't know if Francisco is going to watch this later, but I would take a sell if it closed below the zone. Like I mentioned earlier, generally when price closes below zone and we have a sell momentum, odds are it'll continue down to the next zone. And the thing is, there's no next zone here. So it's pretty much a free fall until it gets stopped at some point. Nice. We have a buy signal right here. We have about 3 minutes. I'm really hoping this closes so we can get into this trade. Ahmad's asking, do you know how much you need on COT to trade US30? You need about 1,000, I think. So for most brokers, you need 1,000 to trade US30 just to cover margin. And that'd be the bare minimum. So depending on which broker you use, I think a lot of people, like once you get in premium, Ahmad, you can ask, the other members. I think some members use CoinX, and you can trade with a smaller amount on there. But generally, the general consensus is that you need at least about 1,000 minimum to trade US30 in general. So waiting for this one to close. Man, I really hope we take this because I need to make back those profits from last night. Whoever was with us with that AM call the PM call from last night. Got 2 minutes left on this.
Hey, Shawn.
So there.
Damn, we should. UJ was looking pretty nice too.
It dropped.
Yeah, we could be up like 7 pips.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Yeah, but US30 looking nice too.
Yeah, no, it is.
Entry looks the same as the last one.
Same one, right? Yeah.
Like exactly the same. Is it?
Yeah. Well, if it's exactly the same, yeah. If it closes up here, then yeah. If it closes at the same entry, then this is for sure gonna shoot up, bro. Because you know how that normally happens. Price will like fuck around for like the whole day, and then randomly it pretty much goes where it's supposed to go.
Exactly.
Yo, Aaron, you mind calling this? I need to go do something real quick. Can you just open it and see if the entry appears? It's gonna be 1,000 stop loss, 1,000 TP.
I got you, bro.
If you can call it if it closes. I'm gonna step away for like about 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Yeah, we have about 2 minutes for this candle to close. So if it closes, just call it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, Imad? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the candle didn't close, so I guess we'll have to wait for the next 10 minutes. And to trade US30, you would need at least $1,000. I mean, that's at least well, that's how much we recommend. It is too much, bro, because a 0.01 lot size is pretty much equivalent to $1 lot size with a regular Forex pair. So every pip is like $1 with a 0.01, and that's the least you can use. Well, depending on which broker you use. For Hugo's Way and KOT, it's the same. It'll be $1 a pip. with a 0.01 lot size. I mean, you could gamble if you want to, but we wouldn't recommend it. See.
Yo, Aaron, I'm back. I didn't close, huh?
Hey, which chart are you using? Because your buy signal didn't match mine.
You tripped me out for a second, bro. I thought I was on the wrong chart. I'm on Alanda. Which one are you?
I'm using some. I don't know. It's something way different to yours. Like when you had a buy signal, I had a my. I didn't have a buy signal.
What you have? Are you on currency?
Yeah, I'm on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I switch it over to Alanda because the currency.com one they open at a weird time because I used to use them before too, but like when market reopens, they open at a totally different time. Like they're not open for like the first hour or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for this, unless it comes up. I hate when the market's like this, bro. When it's just it doesn't
The
even.
market has been dead for like the past the past few months. But normally it's it's normal around this time, summertime. It does slow down. So
Yeah, it slows down because all the big players go on vacation and stuff.
exactly, yeah. But damn, it's not around these times.
Yeah,
COVID.
COVID,
I've been
so
out chilling.
keep on trading.
bro. It is so hot. Let's see.
Yeah, bro, I don't know how you do it without AC, man. When my
I
AC's
got AC, but it's just those dogs, man. I'm not trying to be annoyed right now.
yeah, yeah, no, but when the AC's off in my house, man, it's like fucking hot, bro. So like, I don't know how you're doing. You're just sitting in the car with no AC on?
I mean, shit. Hold on.
Bro, it's like,
Can you hear this?
oh, a little bit, barely.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go too
Oh,
loud.
and Lester's asking if you get enter US 30. So yeah, Lester, if we get a buy signal here, then I would enter it. I wouldn't enter from this old one right here because the thing is, we already hit TP1
Mhm.
or somewhere around there. So I don't think it's safe to enter until we get a re-entry signal. So just hang tight for a little bit. Um, oh, Traven's asking, how do you mark your TP and stop loss? So generally, the way that I do it is I put so say if I was entering this trade right here, right, Travion? Um, I would put the stop loss, I'd enter a short position, and I put the stop loss at the previous swing, which is up here. So that'd be about 1,300 pips. Generally, I like to use whole numbers, so I just round it to like 1,300 instead of 1,308. And I do the same thing with FX. The difference with US 30 though is that because it moves so fast that you need to give it some space. So, and this is only during US session. So during US session, the minimum is 1,500. So even though the swing is at 1,300, I'm gonna put that at 1,500 because I want some cushion in case price wants to play around. So right here, this is pretty much how I would set the stop loss here. But if we're trading during Asia session, like we're doing right now, the thing with Asia session is that it moves so slow. Like literally, you can see right here, it barely even moves. It moves like 600 pips. So the problem is if your stop loss, I mean, if your TP and stop loss is 1,500 pips, you're gonna be holding this trade until like the next day. It's just not gonna. It's probably not gonna hit until like London. So you're literally you'll pretty much be holding the trade for like 12 hours. So during the U.S., I keep it at about 1,500 pips. But basic rule of thumb is just previous swing. So you can see right here, this is a nice sell signal again right here. Put at the previous swing, which should be over here. Normally, this is how I would do it. I put at the previous swing. But the thing with US 30 is that you kind of have to gauge it a little differently because it doesn't move like normal pairs. So that's that for US 30. Let's go to something else. We'll go to like UJ over here. So the thing with UJ over here is I put it at the previous swing. So you can see this was the entry down here. Or yeah, the entry was right here and the previous swing was over here. So stop loss would have been placed somewhere like right there. But the thing is earlier I rounded it to 75 because I wanted some cushion there. So that's pretty much how I do it. Another way to do it, this is a simpler way. So let's go to a random thing over here. Okay, so right here. So say I want to enter this buy right here, right? Let me turn off these indicators just so I can give you a good understanding as to how I would do it. So if I want to enter this buy right here, I'll replay it to this specific point. And this is the simple way of doing it. So the way of doing this, I'll just zoom out, hit the zoom out button, reset chart, use the long tool, and I'll let TradingView do the work for me. So I'm going to enter right here, right? I'm just going to click this. There you go. It does it for you. But the only problem with this is that it gives you the real swing. So the real swing is 163 pips. I don't know if you can handle that risk. So the thing is you kind of want to adjust it to the previous swing down here. But if you want to go for the full move, you could have just did that and pretty much let it do what it does. So it's a little different. But you can see here, it's still moving in that direction. So technically it could still go hit full TP. But like I mentioned, during the summer, it doesn't move as fast, and it's kind of you'll be stuck in consolidation more than you are in the trending market. So in this specific situation, I would keep your TP or stop loss a little tighter, just so you don't get caught in a trade holding it for like weeks, a month. It's a little too long to be holding it. Let's see. No entry yet. You guys, if I don't get an entry, you know, like by 7:30, I'm probably gonna get off, but I'll still call this in the premium. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got about, oh man, this thing's loud. We got about 8 minutes. So if we get this entry right here, I'll call it. But otherwise, I'm probably gonna get offline. You know, we've been on this call for about nearly 3 hours already, so I'm gonna get off this soon. But I'll call this trade if it appears. You know, otherwise, you know, I'm gonna be available in the premium. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Yeah, I hope this closes because I want to get in this trade already. It's like the anticipation is just killing me right now. All right, we got 7 minutes left on this candle. Let's see. Just checking everything else real quick. Six minutes. Offline. I think Aaron got too hot in his car. The dude was chilling in his car for like 3 hours. All right, let's see. All right, let's give it a little more time. Oh, nice. Madrid in Toronto. We have a lot of traders in Toronto too in our premium. I think Masha's from Toronto. You probably see our profits in the public group. So Masha's from Toronto. There's actually a pretty good amount of people from Toronto in our group. I'm trying to read this. Yeah, we got a pretty good amount of people from Toronto. Wade, the guy that calls our indices calls, he's actually located in Toronto too. So we have a good amount of people from Toronto. Yeah, everyone's kind of from everywhere. It's like ironic. I think majority of the people are not from the U.S. And we're from the U.S. So it's cool because when you're in the chat, you'll talk to people from other places that are awake. So like when it's like really late at night, you're getting ready for bed. There's people that are just getting up and talking. Like Felix, you'll meet Felix. I don't know if anyone is Felix in here. Yeah, you'll meet Felix. He does our stocks. This guy. He didn't purpose. What's this? Reggie said, US30 don't respect shit. Yeah, he's not wrong though. It really doesn't. US30 kind of does what it does. It doesn't really. Enrique said it has its mind of its own. It can smell fear. Is Enrique in here? Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna wait for this candle to close. If not, then we'll just keep waiting. Well, I'm probably gonna get off, but I'll keep waiting and I'll give an entry if I see one. Okay, let's keep waiting for it. T said, looks like a head and shoulders pattern from the daily. If US30 even follows that damn pattern. Yeah, I don't know if it would. See, James, he saw something. It's like trying to beat the casino. Rookie trader turns 15,000 to 1 million, and then loses almost everything. Yeah, guys, this is why you got to use proper risk management. Is James in here? That's a funny article. James got off. But yeah, James said it's like trying to beat the casino. I'm gonna share this in my chat group too. So. Yeah, bro, $1 million gone. That's crazy. You know, if you just use proper risk management, you don't try to bet your whole account on every trade, you should be fine. It's all about like long-term growth. Oh yeah, no, for sure. He's doing something. He must have been doing something crazy. But our Yeah, he might. Maybe he had KOT. They probably just manipulated the market. You know, that's a big thing that happens with them too. They manipulate the spread, or they have server problems, and then for some reason it always happens when you're in a good trade, and then you end up losing. You're like, what the heck? Yeah, you know, the thing is with offshore brokers, don't trade from 10 p.m. So like right now it's 7:27 my time. Don't trade from 10 p.m. to midnight. That's when the market gets manipulated like crazy, bro. Like at that point, uh, you'll see your server will go offline, and then you'll try to exit trades, and they'll say like, you know, try again later or no connection, something like that. I think during that time is when the market gets manipulated like crazy. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I seen that too, where like I'll keep hitting close, and then it won't close for like a couple minutes, and I'm like, what the heck? And then at that point, I try to close in profit, but you know, obviously in a few minutes it could go in the opposite direction, and end up going negative. All right, 2 more minutes in this trade, and then we'll be calling it a night. Yeah, the market's just dead, guys. I don't think there's going to be an entry. If anything, I hope it just shoots up and finishes off this trade. But you know, otherwise, I'll keep an eye on the charts to see if there's something that actually appears. Let's see. So for my news, generally what I do is I listen to CNBC every morning. So the cool thing about CNBC is they have US, Europe, and Asia. So you know, obviously, if I click on US, it's going to say the market's closed. You know, CNBC is offered in this region. You go to Asia, and then right here I can watch Asian news, and I could have this running in the background, and then if there's something crazy happening in the world, you know, I'll get notified. Um, if you don't like CNBC, I also use Forex Factory. So I go to Forex Factory. I just go to calendar if I want to see if there's any big news events. Otherwise, I'll click on news, and then I'll have this updating right here. So every time new news comes out, it'll be posted right here. So depending on what I'm looking for, so if I want real-time news, I'll use CNBC. But if I'm just checking for any updates, I'll have the news open right here on Forex Factory. The only problem with Forex Factory is they don't give you notifications, so you literally have to check it. So it makes it a little hard to keep track. But the cool thing with CNBC is I could just have this running in the background. And it's cool because if you have Asia, it'll be like news in during the Asian market. So for like right now, we're trading. You know, during the Asia session. So the thing is, you kind of want to know what's going on in Asia to understand, you know, like what kind of crazy things are going on in the market. Yeah, CNBC is actually one of the biggest ones that you could use because you know it's a world it's like a world news station for like business and stocks and stuff like that. Oh, duh, of course I had to restart it. Yeah, so you can see here it shows all of
Block's finance ministers had picked Ireland's finance.
Has all the news running right here, and it'll show you, you know, percentage of everything that's going on, especially if you're trading indexes like the Japanese market, pound, currency check, all that stuff. It's pretty good. But yeah, guys, so it doesn't look like we have an entry right now, so I'm just gonna get off because we've been on for like 3 hours. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. You know, if you guys are new here, we have this every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, or you know, you can pop up in the chat. And if I can't get to you, someone else in K2 will. So guys, you know, it was a good live trading room training webinar. Ahmad, yeah, if you go on, are you on how'd you find this? Are you on the Telegram group? So if you're in the Telegram group, you can find me on the Telegram. I'm just Shawn K2. Yeah, so if you're on here, just type in Shawn K2 or just look at the list. I'm right here, Shawn K2, and then you can reach out to me. So yeah, guys, I'll reach out to you guys in the chat. I'm gonna get off for a little bit. I'm trying to go grab dinner before it gets a little late. Otherwise, yeah, we'll catch up later. All right, guys, I'll have this on YouTube shortly, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. See you later. Yeah, thanks, Ahmad. I'll probably pick that up tomorrow. All right, guys, see ya.